Kotaro Lives Alone is an anime that fell through my cracks. It's a show that was produced by Netflix and studioed by Linden Film. This show is both hilarious and depressing at the same time. It follows this guy called Kotaro, who's a little kid, who's a 4-year-old. He is living alone in this little studio apartment. Kotaro gets taken care of by these 3 people: a Yakuza member, a whore, and a mangaka. The show is funny at times, where it's just Kotaro acting like a little kid, being this quirky bastard, and at the same time, it just hits you in the balls and just be like, hey, do you guys remember that Kotaro used to live in an orphanage and has terrible fucking parents, and one of them actually died? It's depressing. It's very, very depressing, and I think that's why people like this anime so much. Not necessarily the comedy, but the bitter depression that it comes just out of fucking left field at times. I remember we're watching this show, and I think this depicts the whole anime very well, where Kotaro is trying to sneak in and try to buy a balloon from this little sales guy. He just comes in and he's like, hey, can I get a balloon? I was like, oh yeah, I'll get a balloon. And then he comes in with a camouflage with his hat, and he's like, hey, can I get a balloon? I was like, oh, it's just the same kid, but the guy doesn't matter because, you know, it's just a fucking balloon. And Kotaro does this 4 times or so. We get to realize what Kotaro is actually doing with these balloons. A substitute for his parents that is just not there. This is a growing theme when it comes to Kotaro, where he replaces his parents with things. For example, when Kotaro makes a big meal just for himself, he sort of names his meals because he wants the company. Kotaro gets very, very depressing. I mean, there's more scenes in this show where you're just like, oh my god, I can't believe a 4-year-old went through this. And it's not just Kotaro. Every other character in this anime feels just fleshed out. Every single adult in this anime feels like they're good adults, but at the same time, they have problems behind them. The mangaka is a awesome role model, an awesome parent, but at the same time, he's a lazy ass, sort of like me. The whore is a hostess who's an awesome mother who just is giving Kotaro just awesome motherly advice, but at the same time, she has a terrible relationship with his fucking boyfriend. She works at a hostess bar, which is not the best line of work of all time. And the Yakuza member is obviously a Yakuza member, and you don't want Yakuza members to be your friend because they're bad people. But he's also a nice guy who really, really likes Kotaro as this little cute kid. Why I don't like Kotaro Lives Alone is not necessarily the story. It's the reason why I hate Netflix productions. Netflix cannot adapt an anime even if it kills them. If you could imagine yourself in a Netflix board, right? And just like, alright, guy, let's make another fucking anime. Yeah, sure, let's make another anime. Oh, what do you want to adapt? Oh, this mangaka looks really good. It's Kotaro Lives Alone. It's very depressing. It's very wholesome. It's very cute. Oh yeah, we'll adapt it. Who's a good studio that did a good adaptation of Tokyo Revenge? Who's that? Linden Films? Yeah, let's do Linden Films. Linden Films are an amazing studio. Okay, how much you want to give a budget for this? Let's give it $2.30. You're giving this anime $2.30 worth of budget. This looks fucking awful. The art style looks so plain and looks like it's fucking merging in the background at times. This is just an awful anime when it comes to just watching it without any context whatsoever, and I think that's why this show is not necessarily popular. First of all, it's an original animation, and then secondly, the animation is just fucking awful. There's nothing likable about how this show is visually. Obviously, the show is really good. There's a reason why people are deeming it one of the greatest anime to come out this season, although it's fucking April. All in all, Netflix should just stop adapting anime before I get a fucking blood vessel pop. There's countless of Netflix adaptations that Netflix just ruined. Here are a bunch of videos right now. There's a video on Goku Shibudo. There's a video on Yasuke, who is just this awful fucking anime in the first place. And there's this manga that I truly love, Record of Ragnarok, that they just absolutely destroyed in the adaptation.